I remember a New York Times writer that once wrote that for him, growing up in New York City, the Hudson River was where the streets end. The river and the harbor were just the blue parts of the subway map. The city owes its existence and its wealth to the fact that it's on this river and part of this harbor. I mean, except for the people in the Bronx, everybody in New York is an islander. You know, everything else is islands. It's a city of water and a city of islands. It is not something that I think the general New Yorker is conscious of on a day-by-day basis. The challenge for us and the community is to get a greater number of New Yorkers to care about the harbor.
People have no concept of the island city that they're living on. You have to take bridges and tunnels to get everywhere because we're surrounded by water. And that water has been part of our city's history for 400 years. Unfortunately, that means that pollution has really impaired our waterways and to the point where people have slowly forgotten that they exist.
I've lived here for 32 years and raised a family here. And though everybody in the community knew that it was a polluted body of water, I think that nobody could have truly imagined how polluted it was until it was declared a Superfund site. The cleanup, we have the means. I mean, it's not a really difficult problem. We just need to follow through.
It's amazing how quiet it can be out on the East River compared to the rest of New York City at certain times. For a lot of New Yorkers, paddling is not a normal activity. You know, it's a very unique experience. You know, New York City has 520 miles of coastline, so it's like you could spend the rest of your life exploring the shores of New York and never, you know, get bored with it.
I'd fallen in love with the Hudson River in a way that was totally unexpected for me. And I just was amazed at how being given the responsibility for helping take care of this particular ecosystem had turned on the learning in my brain so much. And I thought, I wonder if a school wouldn't do the same thing. Why do you have to wait until you're after school to actually do real work helping study, research, protect, and restore water bodies? And so a little light bulb went off then that this is what schools should look like. And really that's what the harbor schools try to be.
I just want to know about the ecosystem, the environment, what's happening, what I can do to fix it. And I believe, especially coming from the middle of Brooklyn, no one knows that. No one knows about what's going on out here in our efforts. So we want to push forward into the community, especially the inland community, to be like, hey, this is what we're doing out here. We want you to join in and don't be left out.
Anyone who grows up in a natural place has some, a fundamental connection to the natural world that changes who they are and how they interact with everything they do. Finding ways to create that connection for young people who would not have had that opportunity otherwise is a fundamental part of our work.
It used to be that the waterways in New York City were forgotten, ignored, reviled, you name it. Now, they're getting the love they deserve. And they're getting the love they deserve because of groups like Riverkeeper and all of our partner organizations that are out on the river protecting it. So even the water bodies that are still the most blighted, your Gowanus canals, your Newtown creeks, they're coming back too. And that's the biggest turnaround. When I was growing up, places like Flushing Bay, they were not places where you could go out on the water safely and enjoy yourself. We want people connected to our waterways. This is a city on the water. This is an opportunity to commune with nature. This is an opportunity to work up a sweat by paddling. Every year in May, Riverkeeper organizes what we call a Riverkeeper sweep. You see people out here every May cleaning up their shorelines. People are taking pride of their waterways, they're taking ownership of their shorelines. There's been 3,000 or 4,000 people who became riverkeepers during that process. They'll always be there for the river, and we'll have people understanding why they call New York City's waterways the sixth borough.